If only you knew the power of the dark side.
Hello and welcome to Forward to the Past. In this episode I'm going to be looking at something I think is really cool. So this box arrived today, something I impulsively bought off eBay, and being a long-term Star Wars fan, I have bought myself an R2D2 cassette player. Now, I was born in 1990 and I grew up watching the original Star Wars, and then later on when the prequels came out I was absolutely obsessed with it. Now, something else I'd always taken an interest in was cassettes, audio cassettes. So combining an R2D2 and a cassette player is a little bit of a childhood fantasy here. So in this show I don't really get the opportunity to kind of look at something that's never been opened, because it's quite a rarity in some respects. So the actual box itself I want to have a look at first. Now, just to prove that it's never been opened, the tape here has not been cut. So there's some light wear and tear to the box, so it's obviously been owned or stored for a very long time. You can see the kind of bash marks here. So we've got R2D2 data droid, and it's got all authentic R2D2 sound effects and all of that. And we can see the cassette goes in the bottom down there. There we go. And on the back we've got a lot of information. Oh, I see. The spare cassettes go in the bottom down there, and the one that plays goes inside of his chest. And there's a whole load of other things it does, it seems. So I guess we'll give it a try. So I'm now going to be the first person to ever open this box. I'm not going to lie, I'm excited. I feel like I'm a child all over again. Although a lot of people say I never grew up anyway. Right, so I'm going to open this cautiously without damaging the box. Here we go. First thing I found in the top is an instruction manual of a little bit more detail. I'm not going to read all of that because that would be a really boring thing to do for the audience. So when it comes to vintage toys and old memorabilia from film franchises and things, still in its original packaging, a lot of people might be like, you're going to devalue it if you open that original box that's never been opened. But for me, I kind of want to use the product for its intended use. You know, I'm into old cars, for example, and I'm not the kind of person that just parks it in the garage and polishes it. I actually like to drive them, so I think this R2D2, from my point of view, is dying to get out the box and play some music. I mean, after all, I also grew up on Toy Story. I know these things don't like being stuck in the box. So his feet are attached with these wires. I'm just going to tip him over. This kind of reminds me of that scene in Toy Story 2 where Buzz is put back in the box and he's cable tied in. I think that's probably the gentlest I've ever opened a box for a toy. When I was a kid, I had no interest in preserving the box, and I was one of those kids that would literally just rip my way through it to get to the product. I know better nowadays. So on first inspection of R2D2, he's very rigid. He's got that kind of effect where he's on ground where he can't use his wheels, so he does his walk like that. His legs don't actually move backwards, so he can't move along in his conventional way. It's fixed. The head is also fixed, so he's pretty rigid, but bearing in mind he is a tape player, he's not specifically a toy. On this leg or arm here you've got the volume control, which is quite neat, and on the other side we've got stop, fast forward and play, so there's no rewind on this apparently. And we've got FX 1, 2, 3 and 4. I assume these are the buttons to make him do his noises. So R2D2 does need batteries, so I'm going to open the compartment at the back and stick 4 AA batteries, batteries not included. Okay, so let's see what happens when I push FX1. Wow. It's the same, yeah. Very charming. So the carry handle at the top here opens up, and that is actually where the speaker is. So I assume he sounds slightly louder. Marginally. So one thing I haven't actually done yet is have a look inside the front hatch. Okay, so anyone that grew up in the 80s or 90s or lived through them will remember the look of a cassette player. You've got the pickup in there and the little drive wheels. So very much like a Walkman. So just to add to the level of nerd that I'm being today, I'm not just going to put any old cassette in there. No, I'm going to put in a Star Wars cassette. So I got this off eBay again, but this was only about £2 or £3, and I thought it was the Star Wars soundtrack, but I should have looked a bit closer. It's actually Star Wars and other space themes. Right, so I have no reason to believe that this tape has never been played. It certainly looks like it's had some use from minor marks here and there, and also the box is open. So if I were to look on, we've got Star Wars, UFO, Star Trek. I don't know if that's going to cause a fuss among fans playing the Star Trek theme from a Star Wars figure. We've got Things to Come, Thunderbirds. Oh, there you go. Princess Leia's theme. We have Doctor Who. I've always wanted to see a Doctor Who Star Wars crossover, to be fair. We've got When Worlds Collide and Mars, Bringer of War. So with a tape player, if you imagine he's actually up this way, which is fairly conventional for normal tape players, it will go from left to right, the reels. Okay, so R2D2 is good to go. I've put the volume on full just to see what it's like. Bearing in mind, this cassette player has never played a cassette unless they tested them before they put them in the boxes, but I think that's fairly unlikely. So I'm going to press play and see what happens. Okay, that didn't sound very good. The tape has not been tangled. I don't know, let's give that another try. It's tricky doing this one-handed. I need you back, Alex. Oh, there we go. So that is full volume. That's lowest. Bearing in mind those are brand new batteries. It sounds a little bit wonky. I guess it's Star Trek. It kind of groovy Star Trek. Well, there's only one thing I can say. Live long, and may the Force be with you. I guess R2D2 go? I just wanted to read out something. I was looking through the instruction manuals, and you can actually have headphones on it, but it's just the wording here. It says, "This will let you play alone without anyone else listening to your fun." That's right. I don't want anyone listening to my fun. So there we have it. The R2D2 cassette player. A little bit underwhelming, I might say. But to be fair, I shouldn't be surprised. It's got a singular speaker about this big. And the trouble with products that are things like radios, cassette players, CD players, or plug-in video games, all of that, there's never going to be that much effort put into the working. So this will have the absolute cheapest mass-produced cassette player mechanism inside, because these weren't made to be high quality products. They are basically just merchandise for a film franchise. So, you know, it's cool in a way, but you know, I don't know, it's just a little bit tacky. Oh, sorry, you kind of are though. Look, I'm sorry R2D2, it's just not working out. Why don't you take a couple of cassettes on the road and just be on your way? Are you kidding me? The cassette has to be out of the box. Why? There's plenty of room to fit a box in there. You're just going to make the cassettes all dusty. Oh well. Thank you, R2D2, but I really think you should go. I'm sorry. Bye, R2.